welcome back to our channel. I am Lexi.
And I'm O.
And today we're going to be giving you guys 5 tips on how to maintain a happy and healthy relationship. Some of you may or may not know, but O and I have been together for 11 years and 5 years married. We're almost going on 6 years next month. May 30th is our anniversary. So we have written down 5 tips and we're going to go through them one by one, and we'll be elaborating a little bit in between. I know right now with the whole quarantine and everything, is for some people it may be difficult to be with your partner 24/7. So we just wanted to give some tips on how you can maintain a healthy relationship, not only throughout this time but in general as well. So we're going to start off with tip number 1, which is good communication.
Yes, good communication is always good because you want to be able to say what you have to say, as well as make sure that you're both on the same page. With her, me and her is always talking throughout the whole day. So we try to say what we want to say to each other, as well as be clear. That's the most important thing. Be clear on what you're saying. Because sometimes when you have a conversation, it could misinterpret for something else. So make sure when you do have a conversation, make sure you're clear on what you're saying.
Okay, so in my opinion, good communication means that you have to be very upfront with your partner. If you don't like something in any aspect of the relationship, or if you feel like something is going wrong, you should let it be known. Because I feel like if there's no good communication, then you're not being upfront, number 1. 2 is that mostly, I know like for both, it can happen for women and men. If you're not being straight up front and saying what you're feeling at that moment in time, you could go along building up the anger, the animosity against your partner, and then that could lead to even worse things happening in the future. So I feel like good communication is key, because you just have to, if you feel like anything is bothering you, lay it out. And in a relationship, you should both be able to come into an agreement and find a solution for any problem that you may have.
I love that. I love what she said. Lay it out. Having a good communication is building a great foundation in the relationship, because that is the foundation of a healthy relationship.
Number 2, which is give each other space.
Space is always good. I mean, I don't ever want to be on top of her 24/7 as much as I would like, but giving her enough space, since we are in the same house 24/7 now, I want to give her time to do what she want to do. Maybe she wants to read a book or look on YouTube, or maybe I want to watch TV or just play some video games, or just your time. I think it's your time. I think it's healthy, and it's something that everyone needs.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like giving each other space, even if, some people think, oh, just because you're married, you guys are always together 24/7. That's not the case. When we're out of quarantine and at work, he works like different shifts than I, so we only see each other at certain times of the day. That's number 1. Number 2 is that now during the quarantine, yes, we are under the same roof and we're seeing each other 24/7, but we do know that there's got to be a balance. So you have to give each other space at one point. Like there will be times where he tells me, okay babes, and I'm just gonna go and play the game for a couple hours, and I'd be like, you go ahead, you do you. Same thing for me. Sometimes I just want to go and like take a bath and like have like a little spa moment. That's like my own self-care and my me time. So like, whatever you enjoy doing, you should take that time and do it. There has to be like some kind of boundary in which you guys are giving each other space, but the other person is not feeling neglected. It's just healthy and good to give each other a little bit of space.
I agree to that. Let's go to number 3.
Tip number 3 is you must love yourself first and learn to be considerate of your partner's feelings.
Learn to love yourself. That means that if you're in a relationship, or if you're not in a relationship, or you're going to get into a relationship, make sure that you love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't make your partner happy. And if you are in a relationship, you're not going to be happy because you don't love yourself. You have to learn to love yourself, meaning just take the things that you know about yourself, or take the time to get to know yourself. I mean, some people just they need to be in a relationship because they feel they are missing something in their life. And in all reality, that the thing that you're missing is the love that you have for yourself.
Self-love.
So you need self-love to give love. And if you don't have that, then you're not being considerate to yourself. You're not being considerate to your future partner. and you're not being considerate to just the nature of being in love.
Yeah, I agree. And then also when it says to love yourself first, I feel like loving yourself first, like, okay, so if you're single, you should learn. Like, you need to learn about yourself. You need to learn what are things you like, what are things you don't like, so that then when you get into a relationship, you can know what you're seeking in a partner. And
Wow,
you
so
also
true.
need to know, like, basically just like what you, I feel like if you give yourself that time to get to know yourself, once you're in the relationship, you know what you have to offer, you know what you're seeking in a partner, and you basically have like everything down packed within yourself, so you're able to give that your partner the love that that person deserves.
And you know what, to that, and you would know what you want in a partner.
Yeah, and then also, but in the same aspect, okay, now once you're in a relationship, the part where I stated to be considerate of your partner's feelings, when you're in a relationship, you need to know that it's not, you cannot be self-absorbed. Now it's time to think about both of you at the same time. Like, for instance, maybe he doesn't want to, like, maybe I'm in the mood to go to the movies tonight and he wants to stay home and relax. So you need to compromise. And okay, so how about we watch a movie at home? You know, he can be relaxing. I can be getting my part, which I want to watch the movie. So there has to be like a middle boundary. Like, that's where I get back to the other part where I said that there has to be a balance, because you need to not only think about yourself, now you have another person's feelings to take into consideration. So you have to keep that in mind when being in a relationship.
Absolutely. Because, it's no more you.
It's us.
Absolutely. So now we're going to number 4.
Tip number 4 is to make time for each other. So make time for each other. So I know tip number 2 said to give each other space. Now make time for each other. You need to also know how to make time for each other, because I feel like, okay, as we said, we've been in a relationship now for 11 years, and throughout the time at the beginning of the relationship, of course, like, you always do so many date nights, you do this, you do that. As the relationship goes on, you could kind of lose that spark and that interest to fulfill your partner's needs, and you can't ever do that. So I feel like even throughout the relationship, like now at this point, we still have date nights. Even right now during the quarantine, okay, we may not be able to go out to the movies, out for dinner, out to a bar, anything that we would do on a regular to enjoy ourselves, but we're still making date night at home. Now we have like a new thing, which we watch like 3 to 4 movies per week. So we know at a certain time we have popcorn and we just enjoy a movie together that we both agree on. You have to make time for date nights and for things that's important for both of you. Also, like, another thing that I want to mention is that another really, really important thing to take into effect is sex. Sex is very important in a relationship, and that also comes into the part of making time for each other, because I know, like, as adults, we all have a very busy schedule, and of course there's times where you can be exhausted and you just be like, oh, not tonight, I don't want to, like, we all have those moments. So trust me, like, there's times where you're tired, you work a lot, it does happen, but you need to also know how to please your partner. So make time for each other in all aspects of the relationship, for date nights, for sexual intercourse, for everything. Just to have that conversation, that one-on-one time with your partner. You should make time for that too.
I agree. Just have enough time to be with each other. Make sure that you are connecting, and make sure that your partner knows that you want to be with them. You want to spend time with them, and that's one of the most amazing things about being in a relationship, is spending time together. And sex is it's great, but that's not the most important thing in a relationship. Just being with the person, talking to the person, enjoying those, getting those memories with that person. And also, what I mean by being together is not being in the same room while, say, I'm looking at my phone and she's looking at her phone. That's not being together. That's just us being in the same room together. Being together is talking together, just vibing. I think that's being together.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're at our final tip number 5, which is
love each other unconditionally. That means love me for my flaws, love me for who I am, not for what I could give you. Love me for me. And for a lot of people that are in relationships or or just wanting to be around, that's the hardest one. Because nowadays, people love you for how you look. They love for how your structure is. They love for what you could give them. So it's very hard to find someone that loves you for you. So always remember that when you finally do find love, make sure it's unconditional, because that feeling is amazing.
Yes, and also love each other unconditionally. I feel like that means a lot, because you must be able to love your partner through all different times in their life. Maybe when you first get together, you know, initially, of course, the reason why most partners get together is because they're physically attracted to each other. But as you go down the line, you know, you're gonna get older. So that physical attraction, of course, like when he's like 80, I'm still gonna think he's hot and all. But you know, things change throughout the time. So you must be unconditionally in love with that person with all aspects of them. And also another thing is that people change throughout time. So maybe when you first got with your partner was very outgoing and fun, loving and everything. And now your partner is a little bit introverted, doesn't want to go to so many social activities or just anything. You know, life happens. So I feel like you just have to be able to embrace it and be with your partner throughout all these different circumstances. And that to me is loving someone unconditionally, being there during the bad, through the good, during everything. That's when you know that it's real, and that's when you're loving someone unconditionally.
Absolutely, because love is only real when you meet that one person that challenges you, that wants the best for you, not just for the person themselves, but for you, that wants the best for you. And to me, I think that is unconditional, because if you're not in a relationship to grow, what's the point of the relationship?
Yeah.
You know, and this is just speaking for us. I'm not speaking for any of you guys. If you guys and girls want to be in a relationship and marriage is not the goal, to each his own. But for me, I felt like getting into a relationship, if marriage wasn't the goal, then there was no point for me to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Did you feel like that?
Yeah, I did. You know, when we first got together, I laid it very flat out for him. I was like, okay, these are my goals. I always had a dream of getting married and having my dad walk me down the aisle, and like, you know, just that I always had that. I always pictured that in my mind and it coming to life at one point. And, you know, I laid it out to him. He, at the beginning, wasn't so much for marriage. It took a while for him to, well, it didn't take you that long, because we got married at what, like 5 years together?
5 years.
So it didn't take that long. But
5 years is long. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think it's so long.
5 years is long. But overall, you got to want to be in a relationship. And you got to love unconditionally.
Yeah.
It's not something that automatically comes to you. You feel it. It's something you feel. It's something you can't describe. And anybody who is in love or anybody who is married, you know what I'm talking about.
Relationships are beautiful. They're going to be challenging. You're going to go through ups and downs, but it's worth it because you have that person to overcome everything with. But you guys, this is 5 tips. If you guys want to see any more videos similar to this or up to like something really more relationship advice, leave it down below and we'll be more than happy to do that, because we do enjoy filming these kind of videos. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share, and we will see you guys in our next video.
See
Bye.
you. Good luck, guys.